in it and when you can leave out. So don't tag quarter if you're not going to run the report on the quarters. You know, those kind of things. So as an example, some people go overkill on putting data in and they don't ever use the data. So
you should always go back and add stuff if you feel like, oh man, the first 3 games.
That's why you want to get it done now, so you know what you want. You know. And there's a lot of older, college GAs that'll probably put maybe a lot more data in than normal high school guys, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Or your offensive guys have 400. Your defensive guys scouting opponent's offense are actually going to have a lot more data than the offensive guys scouting opponent's defense. Because there's more categories, motions, formations, and personnel, this, that, and the other. So just have a plan and really get it down on paper and hand it to your other coaches so they know what their responsibilities are and who's got what. So that's the biggest thing I can pass on to you. If you didn't know, all this stuff is online. So let me just show you the online stuff for the training. On DSV8 or DSV7 or whatever you got here, right here is the training. And it's got written copies of everything. But what I really like the most is blocked here at school. So that's awesome. But there's categories. You just select. There's ODK and auto match. There's capture. There's making reports. There's anything that you can do in the software. There's a 5-minute video that you can follow along and answer most of your questions. If you're stuck beyond that, if you're getting error, please, you're paying for support. That's the only other thing I stress is call, because we want you to be running smooth and doing things easily. So we don't want you to be frustrated with it. We want you to have your system down. We want it to work right. I think you need a drink of water. Yeah. Anything else on this general day-to-day setup or anything like that? Anybody? So really, things you need to get down initially are your preload. Get your preloads done. Get your data entry templates done. And then you'll be set up. Because you're going to get video and it's going to get ODK and it's going to get put online. It's those other things. If you don't have those, if you don't have your preload list and your data entry templates done, then if you don't have your data entry templates done, when you go online to edit, all 70 of those fields are going to be down there. So now you're scrolling left and right, looking through 70 fields to try to find what the play type is. And that's the biggest thing I can tell you.
Hey Pete, did you already talk about going back to a previous season if this is new software for your program and saying, okay, how do you auto match if we didn't have the clocks on or anything like that?
So we can do it. Here's the manual auto match. Say, I know some guys have old tapes that don't have the time set on it, or all your old games are on DVD, or even if you're trading video from a team, you have a wide angle, but you sent somebody out with a camera, you shot the end zone for that game, for scouting weeks ahead, you got extra video guys and you got extra cameras, send them up and get an end zone copy of the game, of an angle that you're not going to get. So how you do that is in the regular add a game. Basically, you're gonna be auto matching it while you're ODKing the game. So let me add a new game here and grab a couple angles of video. Okay, here you're going to manually grab the folders instead of going through the auto match. You can't use the normal auto match process because there's no electronic timestamp in there. If you gotten it off a DVD or you got it off of one big clip and you manually cut it up, Unfortunately, there's no timestamp, so the software, there's no way for it to find that. So,
go online, they have online training videos, okay? And, go to the one that's about defense for reports, and it'll walk you through every one of them. Truthfully, that's where I learned how to use VSC and web. I spent a lot of time on the online training videos. I spent a lot of time.
you just go right into ODK. It's going to ask you, it's always going to ask you if it was automatic, but this time no, not automatic.
That's, what I would recommend doing is kind of starting with your effort there, and then deciding which of those reports
go ahead and split. So you need to be able to see both angles, basically. So as we go through here, just hit play, and this is where it really helps if you have two monitors, because if you right-click on your desktop here, you can actually set this up as monitor 1 and this up as monitor 2. Or if you have two screens right next to each other, you can drag the video over to one screen. You can have the ODK on the other screen, so you can have the video playing over here and your data over here. Otherwise, you get this. When you're trying to look at two different angles at the same time, the bigger the video, the easier it is to see. But you can see on right here that I have 202 video clips over here and only 199 over here. So we know at some point there's going to be one video clip here that's not on the other, or on that sideline you might have 15 more clips, because there's 2 clips of the cheerleaders, there's 1 clip of everybody running out of the field, and there's 3 random scoreboard shots throughout the game that they got that aren't on the other angle. So hit play over here, and you're going to be using these drop downs here to find the appropriate plays here. So we see that these are the same play. If they're the same play here, great. Tag it as what it is. Kickoff. Okay, and we got play 2. We're watching over here. Okay, we got swing pass. Okay, great. That's offense. If nobody missed a play, then you're great. But somebody's going to miss 1 or 2 plays throughout the game. Somebody forgot to rewind their tape, and they had to switch tapes, and they missed 3 plays because they had to switch tapes. Something's going to happen. At that point, if this play does not equal this play, then you need to find which angle missed the play. So I'll take play 15 here and play it. And you're like, okay, that's a deep pass over here. This is a pass out to the sideline. Okay, somebody missed the play.
Or the length. Well, it looks like the length of the clips just don't match. So
right. Yeah, I mean,
one's progressed further than the other.
You'll be able to tell pretty quick whether it's the same play or not. Okay, if you look through here, you go down to the next play on the second angle, and it still doesn't match up, then you know there's probably just no, like say the end zone guy missed the clip, he missed the shot. He was talking to his buddy, and he looked over, and he missed the play. Okay, if angle 2 has no video for that play, for this one play you just need to check no second angle, and then tag it as offense. And you'll see here, right here, for play 3, it says no clip. Now at that point, if they just missed one play, then the next play you're going to be back on. So uncheck that if you're back on. If you're watching these, if it's the same play, then you're good. You should, next play, next play, next play. You come across the next one and they don't match up. Now maybe your sideline guy might have missed the play. So on on this play, on the second angle here, you skip ahead. On the second play, if they skip ahead, that means the first angle missed the shot. So what you need to do is go back to the previous play here. Play 16 is the next play in order, but I am missing the sideline shot. It's offense. Once you add it in, you should be back on if they only miss one play. Then you just uncheck here and keep going. They're not going to usually miss too many plays, but especially early on in the year, and if you're a multiple tempo type team, if you run no huddle, you better maybe give your film guy a heads up to let them know, if you're up tempo, or if you call 2 plays in the huddle, those kind of things, you just need to tell your film guys, like, just stay between you and me, but just know you need to pay attention closely, because sometimes we're going to run a play, get up and run, or if you call a mirror or whatever, you have a call that you're just going to run that same play over again, rush to the line and run it, and you just need to maybe give your film guy a heads up, and just tell him, you gotta say a word about this. You did, kind of thing, but that's how you would manually match it if you had tapes that had no timestamp on it, or if you had 2 DVDs of separate angles, or whatever the case may be.
We've got a piggyback system. You shoot wide and tight at the same time with one control button. There's no way to load both of them live capture at the same time. Is it?
You need a separate computer for each one. So, but you have another computer, just call me. We can find a way to get that captured software at least on the machine, for us. So a lot of like Texas teams do that. In Texas, they have 2 sideline shots, one tight sideline, one wide sideline, and then they have an end zone, and that's standard in Texas. So in Texas, you always have three angles. And some teams shoot 2 end zones. So you can have up to four angles. Personally, I don't see that as being too big of an advantage, but you can customize it however you want to. If you want both end zones for every play, that'd be great.
If you're doing a commercial DVD highlight, and you've got like a handheld camcorder to kind of capture the drama of certain points in the game, then you can do that for angle 3, right?
Yep. Yeah. Put it in there. It's going to be time consuming because you can't auto match. You have to manually match it. What I would tell you is if you do that, have one copy of the game auto matched and then ODK, and then if you're doing a separate thing for like a video production, then manually match a second copy of that game with. Just so you know, DSV does not let you have the same name of game with the same date in there, so you can't have 2 Loyola versus Crespies on today's date in the system. You have to have one where, it's like for you, it'd be like Chaminade Production versus whatever. You just have to name it different so that it doesn't show up and skew any numbers in any kind of data that you're running. And then, so just name it like production versus
sideline or handheld or something.
When you're adding the game in is what it is. So, and it'll take you a while the first couple times to do it, especially if they don't have every single play, because you're gonna have to capture that video and probably go through it and actually manually mark it where the plays are separated. But you can do it. That's going to be a little time consuming. But if you got people for it, then great. That's your job. That's your job. So that's the manual match. You can get lost. If you ever do get lost, and you've skipped ahead like 4 or 5 plays on that one and 3 on this one, you're like, oh crap, I don't know where the hell I am. Go click on the last play that was good. Okay, or say you're on this play and you're like, oh wait, that's not matched. You click back to the last one and you're like, oh, that's not right either. Go back to find the last correct play. If this was the last correct play, just go back and delete. If play 26 is the last correct angle, click on 26, then skip one play ahead here, one play ahead here, and you'll be back on. And then you can see who, you can carry on back to your process and see who missed the angle. And what I would tell, what I would tell my filmers is, if you don't really have your filmers on walkie-talkies, you might want to get them on walkie-talkies, or at least keep a note saying, shoot, look at the clock, I know I missed a play here. If you know you missed a play, let me know so I know when I'm matching up. You're like second series or the second quarter or the third quarter, whatever. 5 minutes left in the third quarter, I missed a play. Just have them make a note, give it to you. You can beat them later. Things like that. If you know you have to manually match it, having them know when they miss something is pretty valuable. Now, when you're auto matching, it's going to pick it up. It's just going to leave that one angle out on that timer. So you don't have to worry about that if you're auto matching, because it's going to pick that up. There's just going to be no first angle on it.
I can create something outside the system.
Can I confuse you?
Auto match won't do that because of the timestamp.
Yeah, if you have a timestamp, you don't have to worry about any of this.
Just gotta make sure they're exact.
What's that?
Exactly, gotta be exact.
You don't. It's good to try to get your cameras as close to the time as possible. But what I was showing you before about going through and actually on the kickoff saying this point in time here equals this point in time here, and it's going to make up for any time difference that you have on your cameras not being exact.
And by exact on the times, do you mean like 7 p.m. and 1 second, or
Just within a couple of minutes of each other. They don't have to be synchronized.
right, synchronized
To atomic
Navy
time.
SEAL type?
Right. Yeah. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Just get them at least on the same day. Just try to get them. And that's something you might want to check about once a week, because what keeps the time on those cameras is a little battery that's inside the camera that's separate from the battery that you use every day. It's like a little watch battery. And if it runs out, no more time no matter what you do, so you need to usually just like a little cover you pop off and change the battery. It's a pretty common battery you can get anywhere, Radio Shack or Best Buy or whatever. On auto matching that, any other questions on these kind of things? Now we take 5 real quick, grab some water.